Hello everybody, it's Shady here, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a pickups video. So yeah, this is kind of a thing all kind of gaming YouTubers do when they can't think of anything original. So yeah, I thought I'll do one for a change. So yeah, to kind of explain a few things. So obviously, yeah, this is my first time doing a pickups video. So this is actually going to be a lot of things that I've got over kind of like the past sort of 8 months or so. So like kind of before Christmas. Yeah, there's a lot of things here. Not everything is gaming related. There's a few other little bits, but it is mostly games. And yeah, it's a variety of different ones. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, and to start things off, basically, obviously, as we know, yeah, so I pre-ordered a Switch 2. But I guess we can kind of include that. I was lucky enough to be able to get the Mario Kart bundle. And one of the things with the Switch 2 is it's going to get kind of updates to a bunch of original Switch games. So one of the things I've got, which is actually kind of a rebuy because I've sold it and rebought it, which is Breath of the Wild. Yeah, basically, you know, both this and Tears of the Kingdom are going to be getting, I think it's 1440p, 60 frames updates for Switch 2. With like, there's stuff to do with an app. So I decided to rebuy Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it's obviously one of the best open world games, an amazing launch title to have for the Switch. Obviously I originally played it on Wii U, but yeah, it's a great game, amazing open world game. Yeah, just glad to have another copy of it. Which brings me to another game that I kind of rebought, which is actually, yeah, Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, which is, yeah, obviously if you guys don't know, this was kind of the first big release for 3DS. The launch lineup for the system wasn't that amazing, but then this came out. Basically a full-on 3D remake of Ocarina of Time. And yeah, what's great about this is it updates all the visuals, adds a bunch of like quality of life changes, basically adds the master mode, adds all the 3DS kind of exclusive things. So for example, you can use like, you know, the second screen, it has a map at all times, has stereoscopic 3D as well, because obviously that was a built-in feature for 3DS. You can use gyro controls for aiming your kind of slingshot, and yeah, just loads of really cool additions and stuff. It's a great version. Yeah, I hope that for Switch 2 this actually gets like maybe an updated port. I mean, I prefer if they just do a full-on remake for Switch 2 personally, but it would be good if they release this version. Yeah, so obviously a couple of Zelda games there. Next up, something that I've been wanting to get for a very long time. And that is Silent Hill Homecoming for the Xbox 360. And yeah, so obviously this game was the first kind of HD Silent Hill game. The first, if I'm correct, this was the first one done by the kind of Japanese team. Team Silent had dissolved at this point, and it's had moved over to a Western developed team, Double Helix. So I just had to look in the back there. And yeah, basically this game was kind of like, at the time, kind of got middling reviews. People were saying it's a bit kind of, it's just okay, very kind of safe, not exactly anything amazing. And people saying that it kind of was very combat heavy, blah, blah, blah. But kind of over the years, kind of, you know, people have kind of turned around to this game, and apparently it's actually like one of the best out of the Western developed Silent Hill games. So I thought I'd finally try it out. In fact, I did pick it up for PS3 back in there, but didn't really get into it properly. But it is backwards compatible on the Series X, so I thought, why not bloody pick it up? It's pretty cheap, so I'm really looking forward to trying this out and actually playing it properly. So yeah. Next up, PS4, something I had to get, Celeste. Yeah, if you guys don't know what this is basically like an amazing kind of 2D platformer game, but like really difficult. Basically, Madeline is climbing Celeste Mountain, and the game is kind of meant to be a like an analogy for overcoming depression. It is brutally difficult. I do have it on the Switch digitally, but yeah, you get this awesome kind of physical version. This only came out last year for both Switch and PS4. What's awesome about it, it has this amazing thing I'm going to show you. It has this awesome Celeste poster. which is really cool. And it has this hiking guide, which is cool. So it's like basically a manual for the game, which is cool. Also, this was a kind of a budget release. I got it for about 25, but I think it launched for like maybe 40 or something. Like it wasn't a full price game, which is awesome. Which is something you get with some of these re-releases. And yeah, it's just cool to have this on disc, you know. Yeah, it's just a really cool game. Very difficult, but awesome. And I just had to get a physical copy. I have it digitally on Switch, so I thought buy a PS4 physical copy. So yeah. Next up, PS5 game. A weird one. I don't know why I got this, but this is basically Dragon Quest X Offline. Only released in Japan. I got it from PlayAsia. Pretty much, if you guys don't know, Dragon Quest X is an MMO. It was actually originally released for the Nintendo Wii of all platforms. And what was really cool about the game was, even though it's an MMO, it's one that you can pretty much play single player anyway. And obviously, the online aspect is just teaming up with people. I think there's points in the game where you have to play with people, or it's an easier time when you play with other people. You know, it's an old school MMO. But yeah, they did an offline version for the PS5. I think it might have got a Switch version as well. And yeah, we're hoping that this gets a translation at some point. Obviously, I believe there is, I think on PC there's like a full translation patch or something available for people who want to play it in the West. But yeah, there's kind of been rumors that this is going to get an update at some point, or like a release over here, which is cool. But yeah, I do have like a guide available to play when I do get into this. Because obviously, yeah, doing the menus is going to be kind of the difficult point of the game because it's all Japanese. But yeah, just really cool. I really hope that like Final Fantasy 11 and 14 eventually get an offline version at some point. You know, because like 14 in particular has an amazing story, Final Fantasy 14, and yeah, I think that deserves to be played by people who don't want to play an MMO, you know. Okay, next up, what we got. So this is kind of what I had to get. This is Onimusha 3. And if you guys haven't played any of the Onimusha games, basically the first Onimusha it kind of feels like Resident Evil with samurais. This is a game where you're playing as Samanusuke, and he has to fight off these demons to try to save this princess. And then the second game, which we're finally getting a HD version of, you play as Jubei, a completely different character. And then obviously, you know, they announced the fourth Onimusha game. I think it's called Onimusha 4, or was it just called I can't remember, it just has a subtitle. I guess it's technically the fifth game, actually. Yeah, so they finally announced a new Onimusha game, which is coming out next year, and because of that, I picked up Onimusha 3. This one is where Samanusuke returns, and as you can see, that is John Renault of the movie Leon fame. Yeah. And, yeah, this is just a really good character action game. You know, this is when Capcom were at their absolute peak during the PS2 era. I mean, I've always loved Capcom personally, but yeah, it's just a really great game. So why I love this game is obviously one of the things that Samanusuke is fighting off against Nobunaga. Obviously, this is like, you know, time of samurais, but there's demons as well. What happens is Samanusuke gets transported to modern day France or whatever it is, I think. And John Renault gets transported to Samanusuke's time, and then you're kind of switching between both of them, playing completely different levels. What's really cool is John Renault has this like really cool whip, kind of sword whip thing he has, which is awesome. And there's amazing weapons you get. Yeah, it's just a really friggin' amazing game. I'm looking forward to playing this. I do have a backwards compatible PS3 now as well, again. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying this out now that I have that. Next up, I'm going to show you one of my books. Yeah, this is something I want to get for a while. Itchy Tasty. This is by Alex Arnell, or however you say his name. This is basically the unofficial history of Resident Evil. This was a fan-made book going over the history of the complete Resident Evil series. Obviously, Itchy Tasty, you know, being a reference to one of the files you find in the first Resident Evil game. Yeah, if you guys don't know, you read this, you go into a random room, you're reading this manual. It's about how this guy is slowly transforming, and then it ends with him just writing Itchy Tasty, and I'm pretty sure the guy he jumps out at you after you read it from the closet. Yeah, it's just really cool. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. There's a lot of really great kind of behind the scenes stuff that, he uncovered that the average Resident Evil fan wouldn't know. Yeah, it's basically just something for the Resident Evil fans. Next up, I'm going to show you something really cool. This is something I had to get, which is the Tales of Symphonia remaster, chosen edition, essentially like a collector's edition. Comes with a bunch of cool stuff. I found this on Amazon like pretty cheap, so I thought, you know what, I'll pick it up. I don't know why I did that voice, but yeah, this is really cool because you get these like art cards which are really cool. I always like that. You've got some cool stickers of the characters in like kind of 8-bit form or 16-bit, and then you got like the chibi version of the stickers as well. And it has a really cool steelbook as well, which is awesome. I'm a sucker for steelbooks, so it's really cool. And okay, I'm sure you guys probably know this, but there's kind of a bit of an infamous thing with the remaster. It's only 30 frames, which is annoying, even on like more powerful systems. This was originally a Dreamcast 8. This was originally a GameCube game, Nintendo GameCube game. One of the few JRPGs on there. It was released, when it was originally released, it was 60 frames. It's obviously an action combat JRPG. And basically, then it got an update port to PS2. And obviously, because the PS2 is not quite as powerful, that version was 30 frames, and the remaster is kind of based off that version. But obviously, that version does have a lot of extra content and quality of life features, so it is kind of the better version, really, in a lot of ways. But still, it's annoying that when they did the remaster, they didn't update that. But yeah, next up, this is a really interesting one. So yeah, this was one of the many limited run Switch releases I have. This is Pentiment, which is obviously like there's kind of Microsoft, Obsidian Games, kind of, I guess it's kind of a 2D investigation game. It's kind of like you're playing in like, I guess it's medieval times. You meet all these different characters and you're kind of investigating this murder, I think it is pretty much. It's a game that I had to pick up. It's just, it's very annoying that there's a bunch of games like this from Microsoft where they didn't do actual physical editions and you had to actually go with this. But yeah, it's still cool. I had to get it. It looks awesome. Can't wait to play it. And obviously next up, this is going to be an interesting one. So first of all, I've got to show you this. So I picked up, obviously, Ys 10 Nordics. And basically, originally, I picked up this version, which is the Switch Japanese version from PlayAsia, just because I wanted to try the game out. It was really cool, but obviously I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. So I eventually picked up the North American version on the PS5. And what's really cool about this game, obviously, annoyingly, I picked it up and then within that week they announced Proud Nordics, which is coming out this year, but only in Japan. So not really a big deal. Probably will come out the following year. It's also getting like a Switch 2, an original Switch release. But what's great about this game is kind of Ys, it's based off the same engine from like Ys 8, which was originally a Vita game. So what's great about that is obviously it can run really well on the Switch. So it's designed really well for Switch hardware. Ys 9 unfortunately isn't the best version on the Switch, but this one is actually really good. It's pretty much a locked 30. I think it's like 1080p and everything, really good release. What's great about this one is you play as the two characters, Karja and obviously Adol as always. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Ys is like a action RPG where you play as Adol. Basically, each game is like an entry in his diary where he's gone to a different island and basically becomes their savior, pretty much. There's certain recurring characters like his mate Dorgu or I think that's his name, or is that's a player for Man United actually. Dogi, sorry, his friend Dogi and a couple other characters. Each one set in a different location, and it's basically an action RPG. This one is Nordic, so there's kind of this whole like Nordic thing. You got Karja, who's basically like a Viking, pretty much. It's this whole thing with ship combat, similar to like, an Assassin's Creed Black Flag or something. And what's really cool is the whole system is about, basically the story is about them two being tethered together, and you kind of, you play as both of them. When you're not controlling one, the other one's there, sort of fighting alongside you. and you can switch between them, do attacks in tandem or freely. Yeah, it's just really cool. So what's really great, like I was saying, the point I was making is what's great about it is this version on the PS5 is full 4K 60. It just does it easily. And one thing I really like is they do these deluxe editions. So essentially what that means is you get like a digital soundtrack and stuff, but these are just the standard versions. But you get like a little booklet with a mini art book, yeah, which is really cool. Some of the other versions are better, like E's 9 and 10, 8 and 9, sorry, have like a actual physical CD in them and a proper like booklet manual thing. This one's not quite as good as that, but it's still fine. You can even get like the collector's editions and stuff. They're still available on the NES site and stuff. But yeah, really cool game. Really look forward to actually being able to play it and actually know what's going on. But yeah, great game. Yeah, maybe just wait for Proud Nordics next year if you feel like it, I would say. Yeah, and on JRPGs, next up, one thing I got which finally got announced is the Suikoden HD collection, which is basically HD remasters of 1 and 2. These are like PS1 RPGs that are like ridiculously expensive, so it's just awesome to have this. One thing about this game is basically you can recruit like a ridiculous amount of characters in both of them. You do regular RPG battles, but then there's also these big like battles that you do as well, like against different troops. And yeah, there's a lot of like, because the amount of characters you can recruit, I think it's like 100 or over 100. Yeah, there's like, it's just random NPCs and stuff, and it's so easy to miss all of these out, but that's a part of the fun of these games. Obviously, the creator of this did his kind of spiritual successor, Euden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Unfortunately, he passed away before the game even released, which is a real shame. Haven't played that, unfortunately, all these yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's just great to have this available. A little bit of an interesting story with this is I pre-ordered this from like, I think it was 365, yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I pre-ordered it from a particular site when it was originally announced for PS4. And then I completely forgot about it, and then it came out. I was like, where the hell's my copy? Then I realized, basically, because it was, the PS4 version was cancelled, they just didn't update me on that and release it, or not release it, or just send me a copy for PS5. So I had to email them, figure it out. Thankfully, they got back to me and basically said, do you want a refund or do you want a different version? I basically said, just send it to me on PS5, I'm happy with that. So yeah, I did finally get it. It's still sealed, as you can tell. Yeah, a bit of a headache, but you know, the fact that I had to chase them was kind of annoying. You think they could have updated me themselves and we could have solved this before it released. But yeah, I eventually got it like about a week later. But yeah, still cool. I'm glad I have it. Next up, basically, this isn't really something I got, but it's something I got from my niece got me from Christmas, which was the first 2 issues of Berserk or Bleach. Something I've been meaning to get into. I've watched like the first season of the anime and that's it. But yeah, really cool to have. I love my anime, so yeah, and shonen in particular, my personal favorite genre. So I'm really looking forward to finally going into that properly. Yeah, and next up, we're going to go over another limited run release, a horror game. This one, which is Clock Tower Rewind, which is basically a re-release of the original Clock Tower, a remaster. Pretty much available on all platforms digitally, but this is a limited run release. I had to pre-order this pretty much straight away. Just had to have it in the collection. We never got the original Clock Tower over here in the PAL regions, so yeah, I'm just glad to have a physical copy of it. Yeah, annoyingly, it arrived on like, well, not annoyingly, I guess it's kind of cool, but it arrived on like Christmas Eve of all days. And what was irritating was I was like ridiculously ill over the Christmas period. I got like this thing called norovirus or something, so I was literally sweating in bed, couldn't move, basically was only really able to drag myself out of bed to use the loo. And I think I managed to like somehow get in the shower, like just standing up, like barely able to sound, because I had to like, you know, because I was so sweaty, I had to just wash myself, and you want to wash yourself every day anyway. But yeah, obviously this game is a point-and-click horror game. You play as a girl called Jennifer, who's newly adopted, living in this mansion, and then basically this evil thing called Scissor Man arrives and chases her. And the whole game it has like multiple different endings, and there's like really cool different endings. There's the true ending, which you unlock, and then there's other things, and it's all about exploration and trying to avoid Scissor Man. And this version is really interesting because they remastered it, and I think that you can play classic mode or like there's newer mode, but this one adds like animations, cutscenes, and even voice acting. And what's really interesting is a lot of the voice actors are kind of YouTubers and streamers who are related to horror stuff, which is cool. So you got like like Susie Hunter, for example, who's like basically like a Capcom influencer at this point, I'm pretty sure, or affiliate or whatever you call it, who's doing one of the voices. You got Gamer Girl Gab Smolders, who's someone I've watched for years, who's a horror Let's Player, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to trying this out. But yeah, annoyingly, I would say maybe you want to play it on the PC version because originally the game supported the Super Nintendo mouse, and it is a point and click thing, so you might have a better experience with a mouse. I don't think the Switch allows for that. Saying that, maybe they'll do an updated version for Switch 2 where you can use mouse support. But yeah, really cool release. Next up, I got a really cool thing that I got to show you guys. This is a console that I want to finally pick up, which is a Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I had an analog pocket, but personally, I just found the thing so uncomfortable. And even though this doesn't have like a backlight, it's just so much more comfortable using this personally. So I just had to pick one up. Got it relatively cheap as well. And yeah, I got this Glacier color, which has kind of got the see-through thing. Obviously, I can mod a backlight at some point anyway. And yeah, I just like the weight and everything. It's just, it's just a perfect design for a handheld in my opinion. Really love it. Yeah, Game Boy Advance is like one of my favorite systems to collect for. Right now, I've got bloody thingy in here, Dual Academy, which is awesome. Yeah, something I'm really looking forward to trying out. Well, what am I saying trying out? I've been trying it out. But yeah, it's something I'm really glad I picked up. Next up, this is another PS5 game. We've got Atari 50. This is the expanded edition. So this is the anniversary collection of Atari. This basically has a bunch of games from like Atari 2600 to Atari Jaguar. And what's really interesting about this game is you can play the games, but this is like, the whole menu system is like a full kind of documentary thing. So you can go into each game, watch videos, read stuff all about each release in each game. And it's basically it's essentially a friggin' whole museum to do with Atari, an interactive museum that you can also play the games in. Yeah, it's just really cool, something I had to have. And it was like ridiculously cheap. Like I said, this is the updated, improved version, which just kind of dropped. I didn't even hear about. I think I only, strange enough, I think I only heard about this because of like John Hancock, the retro game YouTuber, talking about it. I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. But yeah, really cool. Next up, another Switch release. Yeah, this is Trigger Heart Exceller, which is basically this was a Dreamcast shmup that recently got a release on the Switch. Yeah, this has kind of become the big thing where, shmups just get released on the Switch. One of the great things, obviously, about the Switch and shmups is you can basically put your thing on tabletop mode vertically or horizontally and play these games in Tate mode. But yeah, really cool, fun little, shoot 'em up. So I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Obviously, one of the things is you can use like these blades when you're attacking to kind of circle around you when you're firing. Obviously, this is the bullet hell style of shmup as well, so yeah, very difficult. But yeah, next up, I'll show you another little release I got, another recent one. This is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Again, I picked this up again, mainly because it's going to be one of the updated ports for Switch 2. This one is actually getting a whole new campaign mode where the world becomes diamond or something, which looks really cool. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to playing this at 60 frames. I think they were also adding a new difficulty mode or something because I heard the game was a little bit easy. So that I'm looking forward to trying out. Yeah, Kirby's awesome, so I don't really need an excuse to get another Kirby game. Next up, this is going to be a strange one, but this is a movie I picked up recently. This is the movie Taffin. So this is basically a famously kind of good bad movie in a way, with starring Pierce Brosnan. This is a independent Irish movie where he basically plays like this kind of loan shark guy, or someone who collects a debt collector, who kind of, you know, breaks the rules to do things. And he's basically what's happened is there's this kind of like rich guy who's trying to buy out this field and tear down the field, and they need Taffin's help for some reason. And it's really interesting because a lot of the line delivery from Pierce Brosnan, it's as if he just didn't give a shit and he just wanted to read his lines once and like refused to do retakes. So there's like some really funny bits, like the famous one being where he goes, where the main female love interest basically says that as long as she's living in the town, it's going to be her problem or something like that. And he goes, well, maybe you shouldn't be living here. It's like one of the famous things. But yeah, look forward to trying this, checking this out anyway. It's meant to be a really funny movie. Yeah, I'm hoping, yeah, I can get some people together. We can watch it. And yeah, I think it'll be a fun night. Next up, yeah, so this one is a really interesting thing that I had to get. So I love Yu-Gi-Oh, as you know. So I had to buy the Yu-Gi-Oh Early Years collection. Early Days collection, sorry. So this is basically all of the original Game Boy to Game Boy Advance games that are to do with the original series. So Yu-Gi, Kaiba, Joey, all of them. So all of the Duelist Kingdom original Yu-Gi-Oh series stuff. So that would be from original Duel Masters all the way up to World Championship 2005, or Seven Trials of Glory, sorry. So yeah, so basically what's great about this is the first few Duel Masters games we never got over here. So it's just really cool to have those available now. And it's just great to have all of them on a cart physically. Yeah, which is awesome. And this came with Harpy's Feather Duster, which is cool. Which was one of the cards in the original series. I want to say that maybe was one of the promo cards that came with one of these first games. That's probably why they included it. But yeah, it's just really cool. A couple of the games, I think actually one of the games does include online, which is cool. Annoyingly, it's just the one though. Kind of wish they had more. But yeah, it's just really great. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, I can just play it for hours. I'm really hoping we get ones to do with like GX and 5Ds and some of the other games. I really want Forbidden Memories to get a re-release. That's like one of my personal favorites, so I hope that happens at some point. Obviously, yeah, this also includes like the Sacred Cards and Refresh Destruction, which are like full-on story type games. Obviously, I really like the what's it called, the Worldwide Edition. Yeah, Stairway to the Destined Duel. That's one of the ones I played the most. That's basically like, you know, Battle City, where you just get to play against all of the people in Duelist Kingdom. And then obviously the Sacred Cards is basically Battle City, but you play as a random character who's mates with Yugi and Joey, like a self-insert character almost, which is quite funny. But yeah, great release. Next up, something I got pretty recently. This is the Neo HD collection. So what is this? This is basically PS5 versions of Neo 1 and 2. I said it's the HD collection. It's not the HD collection because they were originally HD anyway. This is just the Neo collection. And why I love this is you get both of them on a friggin' disc. So yeah, what's great is you basically have the fully like updated versions of both of these games on a disc, which is awesome for like physical collectors. If you guys don't know what Neo is, Neo 1 and 2 are basically Souls-likes. These are Team Ninja's take on the Souls-like. What's really funny is the original Neo was announced for PS3, like in the first PS3, like 2005 kind of showcase at E3. And then it finally came out like bloody well over 10 years later or whatever. And yeah, what's great about this is this basically takes the Souls formula, but adds a really deep combat system where you have like 3 stances: high, low, medium stance, loads of different weapons and stuff. The first one you play as basically a guy who just looks like Geralt from The Witcher, and the second one you can create your own character. Team Ninja also have done some other Souls-like games, Stranger in Paradise and Wulong, which are both really good as well. But yeah, I just had to get these. This is one. This came out pretty much at the in the first year of the PS5, and I've just been waiting for it to get cheap, really cheap now. Managed to get it for half price, so about 30 quid. So I just had to get it. Yeah, really cool. I've got the collector's edition of Neo 2 on the PS5, or the PS4, sorry, and you do get a free upgrade for that, which is cool. But you didn't get a free upgrade for Neo 1, which is strange. But yeah, doesn't really matter. Next up, got some PS1 games. One that I had to get was Alundra. Sorry, still got the little thing on there. So yeah, this was basically Zelda: Link to the Past for the PS1, pretty much. There was a game, I can't remember the name of it, but there was another game that came before this, Beyond Oasis, something, I don't know, something like that, which was for the Mega Drive, and then they did the spiritual successor for this, and then they also did Alundra True, which isn't so good apparently. That's like a weird 3D game. But this is basically like a top-down 2D Zelda-style game, but for the PS1. Apparently it's really good. I've never actually tried it out. I've seen like videos and some playthroughs of it. It looks awesome. Cannot wait to play this. Yeah, I love collecting for the PS1. It's one of those systems I'm always just going to get for, so yeah. Next up, another PS1 game, Breath of Fire 4. Yeah. Main reason I picked this up is I saw Happy Console Gamer talking about this in a pickups video like last year, so I had to get a copy. And apparently this is cool because you play as this character and there's a dual story with this guy, something like Final Fantasy VIII with like Squall and Laguna. Yeah, it's obviously, again, this is like another 2D game with some 3D elements. And yeah, like the PS1 just had so many great JRPGs. Yeah, this is one I'm really looking forward to trying out. I've played Breath of Fire 3 for the PSP, and I think I played like the first one, and I think there was a re-release on GBA, which I did play back in the day, which was awesome. Yeah, so really looking forward to trying that out. Next up, we got another anime, manga, sorry. I picked up the Chainsaw Man box set. This is volume 1 to 11. And what is this? It's really cool. So you open it like that. This has basically the first 11 volumes of Chainsaw Man all in there. I had to get this. Yeah, it was reduced down by like 30, 40 quid or something like that. So you had to pick it up. Basically, the anime, which I've watched, only consists of the first 3 volumes. So yeah, because it's almost up to like volume 20 now. And yeah, it's going to be ages before any of it's animated. There's meant to be a movie out this year, which is covering the Res arc or something like that, or Res arc. So yeah, I can't wait for that. So I just picked this up. So I'm gonna start reading through Chainsaw Man now, which is awesome. Yeah, next up we got another thing which I just have to quickly grab. So we'll probably cut this bit out. Something I had to get. So basically, I picked up the Analog 3D, which is basically the N64 FPGA. It will allow you to hook up to a HD TV and play the N64 games in 4K. Annoyingly, it's been delayed. It was meant to be out Q1, and in typical bloody analog fashion, it's been delayed. So apparently it's going to be out in Q2, so July time or something. But because of that, because I was anticipating that, I picked up some N64 games. So what did I get? Got F-Zero X, which is awesome. F-Zero is just a great racing game. Obviously, Mario 64, had to do that. Next up, obviously, Ocarina of Time. You know, you have to get that, it's a classic. Pokemon Stadium, a must-have. Also, 1080 snowboarding. Banjo-Kazooie. There's actually one more which I need to fish out. If I can find it. It's only just dawned on me now, so that's why. There's actually a couple more games here. Two that I absolutely had to get. We've got Pokemon Snap. And lastly, Castlevania 64. Which, the main reason I picked this up was because I've heard that it's kind of had a bad reputation, but apparently it's not that bad. It's actually kind of a good game. And I always want to try it out. Yeah, it was like, bloody... Yeah, I know there's been a few YouTube videos about this game not being great. AVGN mainly talking about it. But yeah, apparently it's not that bad. Next up, got a couple of last things to talk about. Yeah, another thing I picked up, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition. So yeah, this was basically the kind of last big release for the Wii U, and it's been ported now to the Switch. This is basically more of a traditional MMO almost. Obviously it's still single player, But yeah, very less story driven, more kind of gameplay driven. So you kind of, you can have this thing called a scale, which is a giant mech which you can fly around with and even do combat in. You create your character, you can party up with other people, you take on missions in the world, do all sorts. Haven't played it yet, but apparently this is going to be, they've already found that there's 60 frames available, and so this is going to be a Switch 2 update. So I'm just going to wait for that and then try it out personally. Next up, this is a really cool one. This is kind of one of my little holy grails I've always wanted, which is Chrono Trigger on the DS. Yeah. And what's special about this is you'll see this is actually the Japanese version. So obviously, if you guys don't know, this is like ridiculously expensive. I think it can go up to like 100 quid or something like that. It's like, cheap, you would be like 80 quid or something. It's just constantly going up in price. I could have picked this up for like 40-ish back in the day, but I didn't. But yeah, basically I was doing my research and I figured out that you can actually play the Japanese version. As long as you can actually change the language. If you're playing on a regular DS, you can change the language. But if you play it on a 3DS, it automatically changes it to whatever language your region is. And it has full English dialogue in it. So obviously I have to bloody pick it up because it's Chrono Trigger and it's one of the greatest games. One of my favorite RPGs, but I've just never had a physical copy. If you guys don't know, this was the first physical copy we got over here in the PAL areas. So I had to just rely on emulation before. And on that, something I also picked up, which is just a cool little thing, was it was actually a Super Nintendo copy of it as well. So this is actually a PAL version. This is obviously like a fan done thing where they basically made a Super Nintendo cart that, made a thing. I don't even have a Super Nintendo, but I just wanted to get this. Yeah, it's just something I had to have in my collection. Hopefully I'll be able to get a Super Nintendo at some point and actually play it. But yeah, it's something I'm really looking forward to trying out. Yeah, but obviously that's pretty much everything now. That is all my pickups. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you did, you're awesome. And stay tuned. Obviously, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. I am just a hobbyist YouTuber who does this for fun, but it still means a lot if I get any kind of views, comments, likes, all that. It motivates me to continue doing what I'm doing. But yeah, anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one where we'll talk about something gaming. Have a great day.